Welcome to Meeples on Meeples, episode 84. I'm Adam.
And I'm Brian.
And as usual, before we get into our game this week, we want to invite you over to all of our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter. Do we have a Tumblr? I don't know. We have a little bit of everything.
Definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel, please.
And check us out over there.
This week's game of the week is Monopoly Gamer. As you can see, we have the Collector's Edition with the fancy box.
It is only available at GameStop as of right now.
But I believe it goes live at Amazon and some online retailers soon, and then there will be a non-collector's edition that will lose a couple of items we'll talk about in our component section.
Yeah, and that's in August, so you hold out a month here, it'll be a little more widely available.
But let's talk about how it plays. What distinguishes Monopoly Gamer from, I guess, regular versions of Monopoly, besides just the Mario theme, is each player is going to choose a different character. Now, it's not just a dog, these characters actually matter in the game because they all have their own individual abilities and power-ups. For instance, when you roll, there is a die that has a different symbol on each side. There's the POW symbol, 3 coins, a red shell, the squid, the green shell, and that is it, actually, because there's 2 of the coins on there. So you'll roll that die along with the other die, and Adam will explain that in the gameplay. And the dice face gives you an ability or triggers a special ability. For instance, Mario, his special ability is if you roll the 3 coins on Mario, he gets to steal or gets 4 coins from the bank, whereas normally a player would get 3. If you roll the red shell and you have Princess Peach, then she gets to choose any player to hit with the red shell and make them drop 4 coins. Whereas usually it's choose any player and they drop 3 coins. Yoshi has the green shell. If you roll the green shell, the next player in front or behind you drops 3 coins. Usually the green shell can only go forward around the board in the clockwise motion. Donkey Kong, if you roll the POW symbol, his special ability is all other players drop 2 coins instead of the usual 1. And Bowser is after you steal 2 coins from one player when you roll the squid, all of the other players have to give you 1 coin. So they have a special ability, and then they also have another ability where if they land on the star symbol, and there's a star symbol on each side of the board, so 4 around the board, they have a different, unique ability. You know, the die one is just they get a little bonus on top of what it would normally be. It's a little tweak, but this is a unique individual ability with the stars. So for instance, if Bowser would end his turn on a star space, he gets 5 coins from the bank for every boss that he's defeated. We'll explain bosses shortly. Again, Donkey Kong, steal 3 coins from every player if he hits that. Yoshi, collect all the coins on the board, and that can be a lot of coins sometimes because you're always getting hit and dropping coins around. Princess Peach, collect rent from the bank for each property you own, which is a really unique one. I just played a game with my kids today, and every time I landed on it, I was getting like 11 coins, and I landed on the star like 4 times.
11 coins may not sound big, but that's actually a lot.
Yeah, that is it's not like hundreds like it is in Monopoly. It's like 1-2 coins for property. And then Mario would be roll the numbered die and collect that many coins plus 5 more from the bank. So,
and these are only 4 of the characters.
I read all 5, but yeah.
Yeah, there's 4 out here. It comes with 5, and there are, another 8 add-ons?
So 13 total.
Yeah, so you can actually buy those, and right now I think they're selling for
$4 a piece.
$4. You get 1 character along with a character card. It's not a blind buy, so you know who you're getting, which is good. And then I believe when it goes live in August, they're going to be $3 when the normal version goes out. So gameplay-wise, like any good Monopoly game, you start on Go, and there are properties around the board, but instead of being the typical properties, boardwalk, park place, anything like that, they're themed to the characters and the lands from Mario games. As Brian said, when you go, you roll 2 dice just like you would in Monopoly, but instead of rolling 2 number dice, you roll 1 number die and then 1 power die. Now the power die determines what extra ability you get to use. Now, which we did talk about, if you roll an ability that isn't the special ability for your character, then you go to the power-up abilities card, and that'll tell you exactly what it does. Red shell, you can pick any player to drop 3 coins. Green shell, player right in front of you drops 3 coins. Squid, you steal 2 coins from any player. POW symbol, every player drops 1 coin.
Every other player, not you.
Every other player besides the one that did the roll. And then the 3 coins is you get 3 coins from the bank. So you move the number of spaces, and you do the ability based on whether it's your special ability or just a normal ability from the ability card. And you can do that in any order. You can do the ability first, then move, or move and then do the ability depending on how it might benefit you. Let's say you're right behind somebody who has a lot of coins.
Let's say Yoshi had dropped 3 coins.
And you rolled a 6. You're going to want to hit him to drop the 3 coins and use your ability first. Then you're going to want to run up and pick up the coins as you go by him on the 6 you rolled. And that's one of the unique things about this game. As Brian said, there's going to be a lot of cases where you drop coins, whether you're hit by shells, POW symbols, and you drop them on the space that you're on. The next person that moves along and moves through that space or lands on that space and ends on that space gets to collect those coins. Was one of the abilities is you get to collect all the coins that are on the board.
That's Yoshi's, yeah, that's a really good one.
If it's been a really active game, a lot of people have gotten hit and just haven't had those coins picked up yet, you can really collect a lot of coins off the board that way. And the coins come in handy as both victory points, but as well as just buying properties as normal around the board. You'll notice a few special spaces on the board. You have the
warp pipes.
Warp pipes. Excuse me, I was going to say something wrong there. You hit a warp pipe, you automatically transport to the next one on the board, and you pick up all coins in between the warp pipes as you travel. You have the coin box. You land there, you just roll the number die. That's how many coins you get. And then over here, and one of the places where you would have one of the railroads on the normal Mario, you have the
falling blocks that would squash you.
They got a special name, and I can't remember it.
And they make you drop 2 coins on that spot.
Otherwise, you have the normal things that any Mario game has. You can go to jail. But again, you go around the board, you buy properties. And then when you hit go, you collect 2 coins instead of $200. But then you also flip a boss card. Now, in every game, there are 6 to 8 bosses. If it's a 2 to 3 player game, it's 6 bosses. If it's more than 2 to 3 players, it is 8 bosses. And every time somebody ends on go or passes go, they flip up the top boss on the top of the pile. Now, each boss has a pay to fight amount, how much you're going to have to pay, and then a roll to win amount. So you have to roll, in this case, it's Larry Koopa, you have to roll 3 or higher to win. But in order to roll, you have to pay 1 coin first. So the first person that passes go flips up the boss card, pays a coin, tries to roll 3 or higher. Now, I rolled a 6, so I would defeat Larry Koopa, and I'd get to take his boss card. And as you'll see on the bottom here, he is worth 20 points, and those are going to be victory points at the end of the game. Now, let's say I didn't.
You also trigger an ability when you get him.
And you also trigger an ability.
This is you take the least expensive unknown property, which is going to probably be the browns or light blues because they only cost 1.
Free of charge. Now, let's say I didn't roll 3 or higher. The next person in line can decide to try to fight the boss.
I would take my coin, I pay it to the bank, and then I would roll. And if I still don't make it, the next player. If everybody passes, then that's when the boss gets away.
Yeah, it goes around, and you pay and roll until he's dead or until everybody passes.
Now, the nice thing about this is it limits the gameplay. You don't go around and round and round. Just when the last boss is defeated or gets away, the game ends.
8 times pass go, yep.
And if there's a 4-player game, that just is basically 2 full laps. Because each person is going to trigger a boss fight when they pass go. So 4 after 1 lap, 4 after the other lap, game ends, and it kind of keeps gameplay between 30 to 45 minutes in general.
Another way this differs from your normal Monopoly game is there's no building of houses or hotels. Because it's such a short, fast-paced game, you don't really have time to think about that anyways.
You just double the rent people have to pay when they land on it if you own all of a color. That's basically it.
At the end of the game, it's pretty simple. Each property has victory points at the bottom. Each boss has victory points at the bottom. You add up your victory points.
Every 5 coins is another 10.
10 points. Whoever has the most points wins the game.
Let's go likes and dislikes. I'm going to have to jump in with the components. 5 miniatures, pre-painted. If you get the collector's edition, you get the plastic coins that are differentiated in size. The 5 is larger than the 1.
And they have the little 1 even imprinted on them, the 5 imprinted on them.
The artwork is beautiful and thematic.
Engraved painted dice.
I'm going to pull this into the frame. It has a nice tray that holds everything, including, again, if you get the collector's edition, a room for all the expansion characters, and shows you where each character goes. And if I can peel mine out here, you can see how they fit in there so nicely.
And I'm going to jump on that. I mean, the minis alone are just very well detailed. I mean, down to the dots for the pupils on the eyes. I mean, it's just, they're really, really well done overall. makes it's a $40 price tag right now.
A great deal price-wise.
Yeah, exactly.
There's one component, and you'll notice I've sleeved my cards because they're very thin, flimsy. I mean,
they are probably some
bad quality, and they're a weird shape. Luckily, I had weird shaped sleeves lying around because I sleeve everything, and I always have extras. But I did a little crazy on that. But it's an odd shape to get sleeves for too, which is unfortunate.
And yeah, the cards are a very low quality playing card. I mean, it's nothing fancy there. One thing I do like, and I don't know if you have it out here, is if you read a lot about this game online,
the instruction book.
The instruction book
I reach off camera.
Is pretty dang nice. It's like a woven, rubbery,
plastic-like material. The pages are, you couldn't rip it if you wanted to.
It's a really nice.
It's not paper
quality. Very, very nice quality. Again, for a Monopoly game. I mean, it's if every game company could make their rule books like that, that would be the way to go.
All of the components are fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. I will also say another like for me is, and this is how it differs from a regular Monopoly game, is the fast-paced play. I mean, you can do a 4-player game in 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, I mean I've played just in the last 2 days. I've played 4 games with my kids. They love it, and it plays so fast that it's not a problem to break it out. It sets up pretty easily and quickly too, which is nice.
And it's good, I think, for all ages. I mean, I have a 4 and a 7-year-old, and the 4-year-old needed a little bit of help, but otherwise, I mean, he could play it just fine. Buy properties, roll the die. I
like differentiating the characters. It's not just like I'm the dog because I'm always the dog in Monopoly, or I'm the thimble because I'm always the thimble. No, just each character does have a different power, and they do make the game a little swingy sometimes. Like when I had Peach and I was collecting rent, I mean, I landed on the stars way more times than I should have, when you look at it like statistically. But it does change gameplay, and every game can be fresh, especially if you buy some of those add-on characters.
And even the powers make at least some sense. Like Mario's power, both of them, he gets more coins if he triggers his special powers, both the star power and his power-up boost, which makes sense because Mario, that's the whole point of the game. He runs around and collects coins.
Do you care if I get into dislikes now?
No,
I don't want to rag on the game. I do like it, but it is very... It's all luck based. I mean, the first game we played, I got stomped, and I didn't hate the game because of that. But I looked back at the game and I realized there's nothing I could have done differently to affect the outcome. Every property I landed on, I bought, so I'd have some victory points at the end of the game. But the problem is, I only landed on 2 properties that I could buy the entire game. It's all dice rolls. If you get to a property after it's already bought, nothing you can do. If you don't land on a property, nothing you can do. If you land on the place where the box is going to smash you, nothing you can do.
The bosses, it's all luck. Who rolls the right
die? Yep. And so that first game, I did not have any opportunities. There was no other way I could have gotten more points. I mean, when I look back at it, I had very few decisions I could make, and I made the best decision I could. Basically, buy property whenever you can. And that's the problem Monopoly's always had, for me at least, is it's randomness, and it's very swingy, especially when you have characters stealing all the coins around the board and things, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just they got a lucky die roll.
And what that is definitely a downside. I mean, there's really no strategy to this at all. I think go first and get more properties. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that also plays to one of the strengths of this game, which is it's just kind of fun, frantic, and fast-paced. And one of the things I've seen a lot online when I was looking at this game, deciding whether or not to get it, is a lot of people described it as kind of like a Mario Kart, Mario Party, but as a board game. It's very swingy, like you said. You can go from first place to fourth place really, really quickly.
Oh, yeah. I was in first place this last game I played because I was Peach getting all those coins. And we got to the last boss, which is another light. The boss battles change up and are cool, but the last boss, I'm sorry,
it's
the bottom. Yeah. You pay 5 to him, so you put 5 coins on there, and if you fail to roll, the next person can pay 5, and it goes around to whoever beats him gets him and all of the coins on him. Whoa. We kept failing the die roll, and nobody wanted to pass at that point because we realized he's worth 60 points. Each 5 coin that was on him was worth 10. Yep. He was up to about 200 points. Yep. So it came down to whoever wins this roll, unless we all run out of money, was going to win the game. Period. That was the deciding factor. Again, nothing you could do about it.
Yeah. So I mean, again, I think that's a plus and minus. It's accessible and fun and fast paced, but if you're looking for something deep, it's Monopoly. You're not going to get it.
Should we move on to our final thoughts here in a second?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that really hits me on this. I highly recommend if you're going to buy it, buy the collector's edition just for the components.
It's worth the extra, like, I think it's
10
10
bucks,
to 15 bucks on the online.
It's definitely worth it that way. And another like I do have of this, unlike other Monopoly games, there is not any player elimination, which we didn't talk about.
That is nice.
If you run out of coins and run out of properties to mortgage, you just keep playing as if nothing happened. So nobody's going to be out of the game. Everybody can play till the end. They just won't necessarily be able to fight the boss if they don't have coins. All right, let's talk our final thoughts then. We review our games on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being absolutely terrible, 10 being a game you should go out buy this very second. Let Brian kick it off.
My heart... Okay, actually, let me rephrase. My brain says go a 5. 5 on our scale is, it's okay. I'll play it if other people want to play it. I won't turn down games. I like to play games and hang out with my friends and family. But it all goes back to that. It's super, I guess, swingy as far as who's winning, and so much randomness that you don't have a lot of decisions to make. And I like to know that I won because of my strategy and what I did, not I just won because I got lucky, or I lost because of just total randomness.
You just need to roll better.
Have you tried not sucking? I mean, that should not be the strategy for a game. But because I grew up in a Nintendo household, because my kids love it, the components are amazing, and I kind of have a soft spot for both Mario and Monopoly growing up, my heart says, forget your brain and bump it up to it. I'm going to give it a 6.5. It is worth owning. There is some fun there, and that short playtime really does help a lot. I actually do enjoy it. Don't think 6.5 is bad.
I'm going to be a little bit higher. I'm going to go probably not too much higher, actually. I'd go a 7.5 on this.
7.862.
862, yeah, maybe. No, it's for all the reasons we talked about. It's got great components. It is a lot of luck, but at the same time, the game plays so fast. I mean, we knocked out 2 games the first night we played it in under an hour. My kids love it, and I think it's very accessible for...
And your kids are young. I mean, my kids are 10, 14, 16, but you have little ones.
4 to 7. 7-year-old does just fine on it. The 4-year-old, like I said, needed a little bit of help, but he was still able to play it. He thought it was awesome that he could be Donkey Kong and go around the board, because I'm raising him right, and he likes Nintendo. But it's a lot of fun. I think the quick gameplay makes up for at least some of the swinginess and lack of strategy.
I'll agree. It definitely makes it more tolerable. Sometimes you can sense like there's very low chance I'm going to win, but it'll be over soon. We can play another one.
Yeah, and I like the kind of the change of you don't build houses, you don't build hotels. It's more about beating bosses and getting as many points as possible. I think it conveys that feeling of Mario really, really well. So I'd highly recommend it. I think it's, especially if you got a family with some young kids, it's a great game to have.
Well, there you have it. Our review of Monopoly Gamer. Tune in next time to see what we're playing.